Hi everyone! Welcome to Bring the Heat by the Corning Museum of Glass Hot Glass team. My name is Helen Tegeler, and today I'll be making a vessel inspired by cherry blossom trees. So for the first part of this demonstration, it's really making the vessel. I started with a small chunk of turquoise blue glass for my foundation, and then built layers of clear glass on top. Our furnace is set at 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit, making the glass inside about the consistency of honey and very difficult to pull out large quantities at once. Instead, we build up our layers, or what we call gathers, by returning to the furnace as many times as needed until we have enough glass for the project at hand. I wanted to create a fairly simple shaped vessel, as it will serve as a canvas to show off all the decorations I will add later on. To shape a vessel in glass, it is all about controlling temperature. Where the glass is hot, it moves, and where it's slightly colder, it doesn't. And if it gets too cold, it runs the risk of breaking. So temperature control is really important. I use heat, gravity, inflation, and various tools to create the shape. I cut in a jack line and flatten the bottom, leaving lots of clear to anchor the piece. About halfway through the shaping, we transfer the piece to a punty so I can further thin and refine the opening. I wanted to create a nice contrast between a thick optic base and a thin lip. Once the vessel is complete, it's time to start decorating. Much of my personal work is inspired by nature. I love gardening almost as much as I love glass. One of my favorite things to do here in Corning is to wander the neighborhoods looking at all the pretty flowers and landscaping. Especially after a long, cold, upstate New York winter, the return of life in spring improves everyone's mood. For this particular piece, I was inspired by the bright blue sky and emerging cherry blossom trees in my neighborhood. I started by adding the branch. I made the cane by combining various brown and amber glasses together and pulling into a long rod. By melting just the end of the rod with a torch, I can draw with the glass. I twisted and turned as I melted it into the vessel to mix the colors and make it look a little bit more like bark. The flowers that I'm going to add, they were all pre-made using powdered colored glass. I sift the powders onto a prepared kiln shelf and then push and manipulate the powder to create petals. I then add small stringer details and the tiny pink bead for the center. The shelf is then loaded into a kiln and heated at a fairly low temperature until the particles just start to stick together. By adding the flowers to the vessel is probably the most stressful part. They're so delicate, it's very easy to break them as I pick them up with the tweezers. They are all pre-warmed slightly, just to help them stick. But if I overheat them too much, the powdered glass will start to puddle, and then I just get a puddle instead of a flower. It's a delicate balance of heat control and keeping my nerves at bay, which can be pretty challenging with all the excitement in the room with these special demos. I really rely a lot on my team, and Katie did such a wonderful job reheating the piece, keeping the vessel warm, and not melting all the decorations out. So I just keep adding little flowers bits by bits, building up my pattern. And Katie's also really helpful in helping me view it from the other direction to make sure we've got a nice pattern laid out. We have an amazing team here at Corning, and I'm so proud to be a part of the team of such talented and fun people. So now that the piece is finished, we just need to load it into the annealing oven to allow it to cool down really slowly under controlled conditions. Then we get a better look at that one tomorrow. Thanks for watching this Bring the Heat breakdown with Helen Tegeler. If you want to see more, the full demo for this piece can be found on our YouTube channel.